Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Masters of the Universe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe Origins Cartoon Collection, Prince Adam and Cringer. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And first of all, I have to say, what great artwork. And they usually have great artwork on all of the Masters of the Universe stuff. So here we have He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, because that's the logo from the Filmation animated series. And then we have some nice artwork of Adam and Cringer just lounging around in front of some waterfall. And then we have some evil guys in the background there. And it is Skeletor, Triclops, and Evil-Lyn. And then, you know, the artwork runs down the packaging. And again, it is very nice. 80s adventures. And then here's a nice big window showcasing the figures and the accessories. And then we have Cartoon Collection Prince Adam, Heroic Secret Identity of He-Man and Cringer, Heroic Secret Identity of Battlecat Mattel. And then on the bottom, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Prince Adam and Cringer. Small print, fine print, legalese print. And I don't see where it's... Does it say where it's made? I don't see. Oh, yes, made in Vietnam print. Dear. And symbols I'm not going to learn. 2 figures, 4 accessories, barcode, recycled. Then on this side, again, the artwork carries around He-Man and Masters of the Universe, Prince Adam and Cringer. And then that looks like Imp from the She-Ra cartoon. And then He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, Prince Adam, and Cringer. And I know that was in the Filmation show as well. I just cannot remember what it was. Maybe Orko pulled it out of his hat. And then on the back, just fabulous secret powers being released. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And then that nice Castle Grayskull in the Filmation style, and Prince Adam and Cringer getting ready to transform into He-Man and Battlecat. Mattel empowering the next generation through play. And just, I mean, this is just fantastic. I love it. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figures and their accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers just to help us take a look at the accessories if need be. And let's just go ahead and say it is. So first up here we have the Sword of Power. And I have to say, it looks pretty nice. Appears to be made out of silver plastic with no paint apps on it. But I have to say, it has just enough detail in it that you know it's the animated version of the Power Sword. And you can see a little bit of swirly twirly in that silver plastic. Next up is the alternate laughing Prince Adam head. But I'm guessing you could probably use this for He-Man as well, because he also often, you know, made this laughing face with closed eyes as well, with his head tilted back. So I'm guessing that this would fit that cartoon He-Man figure as well. And as far as the last accessory, we have an alternate head for Cringer, which is the other frightened head. I mean, he has the kind of confused frightened head on him there, but this is the really one. This is the one I'm probably going to put on the figure. And it does have, you know, nice simple clean paint apps for the stripes, and the face features as well as the eyes and the eyebrows and the teeth, and the jaw is articulated on a hinge there, so you can make him even more frightened or give him, you know, like talking poses. Oh no, Adam, not again. And so I think this is the better of the two, but I am glad that they included this one as well. Now let's move Cringer out of the way for just a minute. We'll take a look at Prince Adam. And I didn't say a lot about the other head. It looks like the hair is a separate piece glued on, and the paint apps for the most part on the head is probably molded in this flesh tone, and then the eyebrows, eyes, and you know, that part is painted on. And I have to say, for the most part, it looks okay. It looks decent. It does have that very animated look to it, as well as just like the colors overall, very, very animated feeling, as opposed to the Origins version, which was, you know, even though it might be the same colors, they weren't quite as bright. So, but it's got a paint app here for the belt and the belt buckle, and probably a paint app around, you know, the fur for the boots. And I'm gonna guess this is molded in white because that's the majority of it, and then the flesh tone is painted on there, because under the lights here it doesn't quite look like it 100% matches up to the face, but to the naked eye it does. And then the arms molded in white, and then the hands molded in the flesh tone as well, and the briefs. And you can see no details in the belt here, and you can see, you know, this just kind of wraps around and tabs into place. And let's take a look at the articulation. He can look up that high, he can look down that low, and it's on a dumbbell, it feels like. He's got chicken neck, it's got waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder pads there get in the way just a little bit, but the arm will go around a full 360 degrees, and it will raise up approximately 90. Nothing in the bicep. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, swivels around 360 degrees, and it gives you slightly less than 90 degrees worth of bend. 360 degree rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge. The other side 360 degrees as well, but it is on an up and down hinge because that's his I have the power, or by the power of Grayskull rather, hand. He does have a cut at the waist, and he will rotate 360 degrees there. However, the vest does like to come undone there when you utilize that. At the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. He kicks forward. Seems like he should kick forward more than that, but I guess not. So both legs are that. He kicks forward about that far, and backwards about a half a step, it looks like. And there's nothing really in here. No cut at the upper thigh. Single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees, and gives you slightly less than 90 degrees, it looks like, worth of bend. Then there is a boot cut at the mid shin for 360 degrees rotation, and then at the ankle tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now let's move Adam out of the way, and let's take a look at Cringer. And again, I like this face. I like the other one better, but you know, this really reminds me of Cringer as well. And again, everything I said about the other head sculpt does hold true for this one. It's got the paint app here for the face, teeth, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, and then probably tampos, I'm guessing, for the stripes. And I think just overall, this is very, very good. This is really 100% what we've needed all along for a Cringer. And, you know, it's even got molded features on the bottom of the feet, tufts of hair along the belly, which they didn't have to include that because, quite frankly, you really couldn't see that in the animation. Sometimes you might see the pads of his feet, but, and then, you know, we've got some molded hair around these knee joints, and then around these knee joints as well. So I guess these are ankle joints and these are ankle joints. I don't know. I don't know cat anatomy all that well. So let's take a look at his articulation. And first of all, his tail will spin around 360 degrees, and it is on a hinge, and it'll come out like that. It'll go up like that. You can spin it around like that, and then it'll come out like that, which is how I remember him walking a lot of times, with his tail kind of straight out. At this first shoulder, it will rotate a full 360 degrees, and it's on a ball joint, so it will come in and out as well. And then you have single hinge and swivel at this first joint. Swivels around 360 degrees, and it will bend that much. Then this hinge, the second joint, it's on a single hinge and swivel as well. Swivels around 360 degrees, goes forward that far, goes back that far. And then the third joint here in the foot is a hinged joint as well. It will go all the way down, and it will go that far forward. And then it does have a forward facing pin for rocker. Now at the front, it will only go forward that far and back about that far. You could force it a little more, but you're going to get some paint scrape and possibly break or pop the joint out of place. This first joint here, single hinge and swivel, swivels around 360 degrees and gives you that much bend. And then the ankle here, it's on a hinge as well, goes down that far, tilts up that far, and it does have a forward-facing pin for rocker as well, and it swings on a ball joint. Or is it a hinge? No, it's a ball joint. So it'll swing out that far and in that far. So there's that. He also has a joint here at the, well, before we get to the neck, it's got a joint here and not quite the mid-torso, but it gives him all kinds of hula. He can bend back like that. He can bend forward like that, and also some left and right movement as well. Now he's got a cut here for the neck. The neck and the head are separate pieces, so the neck will come up that far, but you can see it kind of, that looks funky. It will go down that far, and it doesn't look funky here. It also will go left and right, and it will do the full exorcist as well. At the head, it is on a dumbbell, and he can look up that far. He can look down that far. I guess you could say he's kind of got some chicken neck. Not really. He will do the full exorcist there as well. And, you know, he can look left and right. And that, my friends, I'm not going to be able to straighten that all the way back up. That, my friends, is a look at the figures and the accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe Origins Cartoon Collection, Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack, with the Masters of the Universe Origins Prince Adam from the Prince Adam and Sky Sled 2-pack, and the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Revelation Prince Adam. Here we have the Masters of the Universe Origins Cartoon Collection Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Revelation Battle Cat. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe Origins Cartoon Collection Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance Stan the Man Lee, from G.I. Joe Classified series the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black series the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Origins Cartoon Collection, or I may be saying that wrong, it may be He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection. It may not really have that much to do with Origins because they are slightly larger or taller. I think where the big difference comes in the lines is in the legs. I think the legs on the Cartoon Collection are a little taller and maybe stand a little straighter than their Origins counterparts. So they may be saying this is not part of the Origins line at all. It's not the cartoon subline of Origins. I'm not sure. But I know it doesn't say on the package an Origins anywhere or Origin anywhere, so it may just be He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection. And you know what? To me, it doesn't matter, because honestly, I put off buying this set because I knew that once I got my hands on it, I was gonna like it. And I was trying to stay out of that 5.5 inch Masters of the Universe stuff and just strictly stick with Masterverse, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But it's going forward, it's going to be much more difficult to look at these cartoon figures and not want them, because the nostalgic pull for cartoon accurate figures from that show was something that, you know, it's hard to resist that pull, because I've always wanted cartoon accurate figures of Masters of the Universe. You know, when you're a kid, you know, it's not, it doesn't bother you as much. Okay, my, you know, the Ratchet toy in Transformers doesn't look a lot like his representation in the media, but that didn't stop you from wanting to have a representation of that character in your collection. And the same holds true for G.I. Joe to a lesser extent, but especially Masters of the Universe, because a lot of times the representations that were on screen didn't 100% match up with the action figure or toy that you had. Like, of course, you know, Wind Raider could sit like 4 people or 2 people in Battle Cat, and the toy couldn't do that. On the show it could do it, and the toy, you know, it really couldn't. And, you know, there were reasons for that, cost reasons and tooling reasons, and the fact that the toy came out a good bit before the show did, and they just kind of wrote in the show that pretty much whatever they wanted. And especially for these two characters, of course, they weren't ever, Prince Adam was a figure in the original line, but only after the popularity of the show soared, and so they did. But even then, it wasn't, it was just a reuse of the He-Man mold, and they slapped some different colors and a soft goods overlay on it, and it was Prince Adam. You pretty much, it's kind of what they did in the show. They pretty much used the same model for Adam and He-Man in the show as well. The animation model is what I mean when I say model. Even though they did use some human models to get some of the motions for the animation correct as points of reference. But it's just, like I said, going forward, this cartoon collection, it's going to be hard to resist getting into this line now, because now I just want them. And it's there's only so many resources to go around. But this pack I had to have because, one, it's the first time we've gotten a fully articulated Cringer. And I realized that Classics had a Cringer figurine in it. I think it was a pack-in with Queen Marlena. I don't know. I don't have that, but my understanding of it is it was an unarticulated piece, or unarticulated for the most part. It may have had some head movement. Again, I don't have that piece. I hadn't really looked at it, but that's just what I understand, was that it was an unarticulated piece that came with her, which that was the first time we had gotten a Cringer piece in a Masters of the Universe figure line. At least that I know of. And this one is the first one that I know of that's a fully articulated Cringer. And I only really wanted the Cringer out of this pack, because not just because it was the first time he had become available, but I thought that even in this scale it would size nicely with my Masterverse figures, and now I have a Cringer for my Masterverse display, and I really like this line. It has that, I mean, I don't know how many times, I can say it a bunch of times, that nostalgic tug for something I always wanted, based solely on the media which I loved. At least for Masters of the Universe. And I don't know, I've probably rambled on enough. I really like this. And if you like it, then, we're in agreement. And if you don't like it, then, that's okay too. If you don't have that nostalgic tie to the Filmation show, then of course this may not appeal to you. It may not be in your wheelhouse, so to speak, design-wise. But for me, I like it, and probably as soon as I get through with this, I'm going to go and look at some of the older figures and see if I can work it out to have some more of these. And I may not be able to be, have every figure in this line, but there are certainly some that it seems like are a must, like He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Teela, Trapjaw, Merman, Beastman, all of them probably. But it's just something I'm gonna have to look at and judge as to whether or not I can continue with this line because I do really like it. But I'm equally, Masterverse is something that is near and dear to me as well at this point, especially the new Eternia stuff, which is more what I'm collecting than the new Revelation and Revolution cartoons. I've passed on several Revolution figures just because I just didn't. It's not that I didn't care for the second part of it, but you know, it's just not something I don't need a Skeletek. I don't need Emperor Hordak. I've got the Masterverse Princess of Power Hordak, and it's, you know, it hits that spot for me. But again, I've rambled on long enough, so that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.